Hi kids! Today in math we are going to find the perimeter. Perimeter is the boundary of a shape. And to do this lesson you are going to be making something a little bit crafty for math. And you're going to need some supplies. So I want you to go get tape, a ruler, scissors. You'll need some colors and a pencil. And the last thing you need to go grab today is some string. You could use thread from your mom's sewing kit, or yarn, or whatever string you can get your hands on, or maybe even dental floss if you have some that's available for you to use for this. And if you don't have any of that stuff, it's okay. You'll be able to do a lot of this lesson, but you'll just have to watch me do the part with the string if you don't have any string. So go get what you need and come right back. Also get your book. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do today is to make a shape, a 2-inch square. And we're going to need to do that so that we can complete the lesson. So everybody is going to do this by taking a square piece of paper. Like a post-it note is really nice because it already has a square corner, or an index card, or even a lined piece of paper. But what we're going to do is cut a 2-inch square from one of the corners. So I'm going to take my ruler. Oh, I don't know if you can see this. Yep, I got to be careful that you can see it. And what I'm measuring, I'm on my inch side. I don't want the sticky part in my square, so I'm going to switch it around like this. So I'm going to push my ruler so it's flush, so it's up to the base of my paper. And I'm going to make marks so that I can draw straight lines to cut my square from. And I want one 2-inch mark at the bottom, but I want another 2-inch mark at the top. So when I have a mark at the top and the bottom, then I can draw a straight line and connect them. See, if I only made the mark down here, sorry, I'll move that up for you. If I only made the mark down here, I wouldn't know where is straight. I might guess, and it might not be straight. So when I measured 2 inches at the top as well, then I know I have a straight line. So now this part was 2 inches long. Now I need to find where's 2 inches on the side. I'm actually going to turn my paper around. If you want, boys and girls, I expect that you'll be stopping to pause and do this on your own in a minute. Or you can pause right now and just do step by step with me. Lots of pausing, right? If I were in class, I would be waiting for each of you to do the thing I was saying. Okay, so there's my mark at the bottom, and now you probably guessed it. I'm going to make a mark at the top so that I have 2 points to connect. So I'll take my bottom point and my top point. There we go. So now what I have a bunch of squares and rectangles, don't I? But what I'm going to do is to cut out my 2-inch square. And I used the corner as part. So take your scissors. And cut a 2-inch square. Kids, if for some reason you can't do this stuff, you can't find something, at least watch, okay? I know distance learning is different and sometimes you can't find what you need, but you can watch me do it at least. And it won't be nearly as fun, but you can watch. Okay, so let's get back to finding perimeter. Now that we have our beautiful 2-inch square, and you can go back and check it if you want, if you're just curious. Did I really make a 2-inch square? Well, check both sides. 2 by 2. Yep. So it says use a 2-inch square to answer the questions below. Trace the square in the space below with a red crayon. Alright, well I actually just did this one before I goofed up my video. So I had to restart. But anyway, so take your square and take your red, whatever you have that's red. I didn't have a crayon, I had a pen. And trace that. Okay. When we trace that, we are finding the perimeter. The perimeter is the boundary of the shape. It is the outside edge of the shape we made. Or perimeter. We also could think of perimeter like this. So here's my shape. This is where you get to use your string. And it's not flawless, but we could take our string and measure or place it around the outside boundary. So I'm going to push here and hold it down and then turn the corner so my string can go around the outside boundary of my shape. It's not very easy to show, is it? So it looks like, oh, I just made it, didn't I? Looks like you need to just trim off a little bit if I want to have my string be the exact perimeter of my shape. There we go. So this string wrapped around the outside boundary, so this string represents the perimeter. Does it surprise you that it is really this long as this string? How many inches do you think this would be? Well, we could check it with our ruler. Some of you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, I worked so hard, I know that this side was 2 inches, and this is 2 inches long, and this is 2 inches, and this is 2 inches. So my string should be 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which should be 8. Whoop! It's kind of wiggly. So it should be 8 inches. Now it's not exact because my string is so hard to maneuver, but you can see it's really close to 8, isn't it? There it is. Really close to 8 inches long. And that makes sense because it was 2 inches plus 2 inches plus 2 inches plus 2 inches. Okay. So our string represented the perimeter. If we could stretch out this red line that we drew, it should match the length of an 8-inch string. Perimeter is the outside boundary of the shape. Now we get to do something different, and I think you're going to like it. It's time to get crafty in math class. We are going to take our shape and draw a path from the top right-hand corner of the square to the bottom right-hand corner. You get to be creative. Your path should not be straight, but it can't be so weird that it's impossible to cut, because you will be cutting out the line you draw here. So I'm going to do a shape like this. Let's see, my string was hard to go around corners, so I'm not going to make sharp corners. I'm going to make some twisty hills like this. So you design yours. Pause the video and you design yours. Then you will cut along the path. So you know what I always say about cutting, right? I say turn the paper, not the scissors. So my scissors is going to stay pretty still, and my paper is going to do, I'm steering my paper to meet my scissors blade where I want it to go. I cannot wait to see the shapes that you guys make at home. You can send a picture or show me at our next live conference if you want. Okay, so I cut out this part of my shape, of my square. And I'd like to think about the new edge that we made. So the new edge we made is now different than the old perimeter, isn't it? Your finger can go along that boundary of the new shape, and it is not the same as it was before. Now let's do something with this piece that we cut off. We're going to take this piece here and we are going to slide it across and tape it to the other side. So we're going to have a new shape, and everyone's will look different. I'm going to use a piece of tape here. I'm actually going to try doing it this way. That's too much tape. I just need a tiny bit, because we have tiny bits of paper here. So some of these little tricks I'm doing, you can try it too. See how I put the tape so that the sticky side is up? You can try that too. Now what's really important is that you match the pieces so closely together so that there are no gaps. And then I pressed down. Okay. So you might need to take your time on that. Maybe ask someone to help if you're stuck. And remember, if for some reason you cannot do this at home, well, that's okay. Just watch me very closely. It's not the same, but at least it's a way that you can learn the material. Okay, now we get to part B. We've made a new shape, right? And the perimeter of our shape is the outside edge. It is no longer a 2-inch square, is it? It says, trace the new shape you made with the square in the space below with a red crayon. All right, well, here I go. Whoop. Whoop. Okay, something like that. So there's our new shape. It started like this, now it's like this. Let's see if we can, I don't know if we'll be able to do this very well. I'm going to use a different thread. This is actually purple. I don't know if you can tell, but here's my first thread. So I'm going to leave this one up here, and we're going to try, I don't know if this will work, but we're going to try to wrap our string around the boundary of our new shape. Okay, so this is going to be tricky and it's not going to be perfect, but what we want to see, so I'm going to hold it down there and then I'll keep on wrapping. We want to see which has a greater perimeter, the original square or our new funky shape that we made. Ooh, this is hard. It's not going to be exact, but I'm just taking my string and I'll let go when I'm done, and I'm trying to measure along the way. I think it's going to be longer because it's taking me much longer to wrap it around all these corners, isn't it? There, that's pretty good. I have just a little bit more to go. There we go. That's the end. So I'm going to trim it right there. My fingers are in the way. I know you guys couldn't see that perfectly. But let's compare the length of this string. Can you even see all that? Here, let me move this. Compare the length of this string to the length of my first square. Whoa. So this was the first one, and this was the second shape. Were we right? Did we think that the perimeter of this one would be much longer than the perimeter of this one? I did. I don't know what you thought. But it makes sense because the boundary of this shape has winds and hills and valleys and twists. So there's more length to this perimeter. We could see it with the strings. We can see it with the strings. So let's answer the question. Which shape has a greater perimeter? We could say the second shape. I'll move this up for you. The second shape was greater. And it says, how do you know? Well, we know because the string length was longer. That would be one way you could answer it. The length of string was longer. Yeah, okay. Then it says color the inside of the shapes in problem 1 and B with a blue crayon. Kids, I don't have a, oh wait, yeah I do, I think. So here's my blue. So color them in, the insides of the shape. You can do a neat job. I'm just doing a quick job. Okay, the insides of the shape with blue. This represents the area, and I just wanted to remind you that. The area is the inside. So we found the area in past modules and past units by counting the space or the tiles inside a figure. So that's just a reminder of stuff done in the past, but perimeter is the outside boundary. Perimeter is what you did in red. Area is the space covered inside. So I know it's been a long time since we talked about that. I wanted you to remember that. Did the area change? Did we change the amount of space inside? No, we did not. The amount of space inside this square is equal to the amount of space inside this figure. We didn't change the amount of yellow. I can't find my beautiful shape. I wanted to show it. Oh, here it is. We didn't change the amount of yellow. You saw me cut this square to form this shape. So the area inside did not change. Just the length of the boundary changed. So take a second to think about that. We did not change the amount of yellow, which we colored blue here. We just changed the length of the perimeter, the outside boundary. So that's what we wanted to think about with this blue color on this page. That will help you answer some of these questions. Which color, I'm on page 48 now, which color represents the perimeter of the shapes? Well, we said the perimeter was the outside boundary, so what color was that? What does the other color represent? What did we just say this represented? I think we said it represented area. Which shape had the greater area? Well, we just said the area did not change. The area did not change. Area is the amount of paper we used. It was the same. It's just configured in a different way, or formed in a different, used in a different way. We cut out a part and taped it to the other side. But the area was the same. The perimeter changed. Then you just have a couple activities where you outline the perimeter with a red crayon and talk about it, explain how you outlined it. That's just a really simple way of saying, you know, how did you do it? You would say, I traced the outside edge. or something like that. Outline the perimeter of this paper with a highlighter. Boys and girls, we are taking our time to remember that perimeter is the boundary of a shape. And no, we shouldn't be skipping any of this because we think we already know it. We want you spending time to do it so that you can remember when you get older what perimeter really is. So we go slowly now so that you can be confident and remember later. That will help you go fast later. So take your time with your learning today and enjoy being a little bit crafty. Have a great day.